Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Our guests today, including Corey Hirsch, standing by, sponsored by Basant Motors. Basant Motors turning the big 3-0, and they are ready to celebrate with some amazing deals. Find out more at basantmotors.com. Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox. Chef Swagger from Hell's Kitchen.
Chief.
Or as you call him, Chief. Not the greatest poll question in team history? No. But I think we can all agree the Arizona trade is Benning's best trade.
Again, 6 games in, guys. Come on. Are we for the same reasons we're ripping Pettersson? It's only 6 games in. Garland, it's only 6. We're 6 games in, Donnie.
It's hockey. It's guys trying to put a puck in the net. It's fun to talk about. I think it's fun to talk about that. And something positive for the Canucks.
Yes.
Speaking of positive, nothing but positive things to say about this next man. Corey Hirsch joins us from Sportsnet. He was there in Seattle on Saturday night as the Canucks came back to beat the Kraken during the Kraken's first ever home opener. Corey, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Donnie. You know what? We go way back. And this is the first time we've talked in a long time. And I'm disappointed that once I get on TV, all of a sudden, now both of you want a piece of me. What is that?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Hershey's on TV. Let's get him on.
Yeah.
Hey, Corey, can you first... Corey, can you give us a traffic report first?
Well, right now, actually, I'm at the airport because I blame John Garrett. So John Garrett gets COVID right on the trip.
Yes.
And then so we all got to travel commercial. So typically we charter with the team, and you got to park your car out at the other terminals, the private terminals.
Yeah.
Right.
So we get back off a commercial flight yesterday. I go all the way back to my apartment. I take an Uber and I go, oh crap! I left my car at the charter terminal. So yeah, and I was like, oh, damn. So I had to come back and get it. So that's why you got me here. But you know what?
Wow.
I'm sitting here, I'm parked, and I've got my seatbelt on. So
very good.
Responsibility.
So, man.
Corey, are you back on radio as of tomorrow night? Do you know?
I got sent back to the minors.
Okay.
Really is what it's like.
So we'll keep this interview real short then. Okay.
I love it.
Saturday night in Seattle. I don't know where we began, but first of all, how about the facility? What stood out for you when it comes to Climate Pledge Arena?
You know what I loved? I love that they kept the character. So I had been in that arena since '92, where we won the Memorial Cup. Humble brag, by the way. Yeah. So they kept the roof and they kept the character, which I really liked. So that made all the arenas now are kind of generic. They're like, and so it's got character. And the atmosphere was a sold out warm up, which I've never seen before. And it was just really cool. The atmosphere is cool. I'm worried though that they're not going to win many games. They struggled. They struggled to score. Defensively, they're pretty good, but they're going to have to win games 2-1, 1-0. Yeah. But that's okay, right? They didn't get the advantage that Vegas had, where teams panicked because they were like, "Oh my God, you can only protect teams this time around." We're like, "Screw it, we're not making those deals. Take who you want." You know. So different expansion draft for them.
Did you get the sense it was a crowd that knew hockey well on Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because of the T-Birds and the junior hockey. I think that really paved the way. And also being Vancouver, not being that far away, I think that helps. So I think it was a very knowledgeable hockey crowd. It wasn't like they had to announce an icing. That was an icing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Ooh, I hate that.
We went to Tri-Cities in junior, and they were a new team, and they had to announce what an offside was every time there was an offside. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was good. It was good. Yeah.
Hey, what did the Canucks show you coming back in the third period under some pretty difficult circumstances, the Seattle crowd, end of a road trip?
Yeah, I think that, that helped playing in Seattle, just the energy of that. So, but also, I heard you guys talking, let's not get too excited about Conor Garland or that. And you're right, but he really drags guys that, that want to take a lazy game because they're tired or whatever, and that happens. He drags them into the fight. And then by fight, I mean into the battle. And you can't help but to, he doesn't let you sleep, right? He's either causing some crap or feistiness. And then, you saw there what he did. The Bo Horvat's second goal was him, and then he scores the game winner. It's just like he doesn't let your team just go to sleep and nothing happens, right? We've seen that before with a lot of teams. So that's what I was impressed by.
Corey, your thoughts on Pettersson? What's going on there? What are you not seeing from him?
Well, what I'm seeing is a guy that hasn't played much hockey in almost 2 years. And I say that because COVID hits in that March, right? Yeah. So then they didn't play until the bubble, which, what did they play? 14, 15 games.
Yep.
And then, then they didn't play again until the next January. And then he only played 26. So he played in a year and a half, over a year and a half. He's only played 40 games.
Yep.
Whereas, other guys have played more, but double the full season. But I remember when Pavel got hurt, and he missed eight or 9 months. And then it's until Christmas time the next year when the guys start feeling it. So we got to cut him a little bit of slack. But there's a couple other things. Either he's got to get a bit tougher and dish some stuff back out. Like even the Sedins, and you guys can attest to this, they dished it back out. They took a lot, but they weren't afraid to give a little bit back. And either that, or they have to get him somebody that's tough enough that's going to intimidate some of those guys that are taking advantage of him and say, hey, you mess with him, you mess with me. And I think that would probably open up some ice for him.
Corey, Demko leads the NHL in saves. Short window, your thoughts on his start to the season?
So good. Yesterday, even the games he lost, he played well. Canucks still give up too many scoring chances, grade A scoring chances, and they have to clean that up. The second period, he won the game for them the second period. But let's talk Seattle too, though. They're going to have a tough time scoring. That's just the way it is. They've got, their scoring is really a second line in the National Hockey League on any other team. So, but as far as I don't want to take anything away from him, because even in the losses, he played really well. I like him. I think he's going to be a top 5 goalie one day. But build a defensive system around him. For God's sakes, help the guy out, right?
Hey, Corey, bottom 6. Sutter and Mott aren't there. But what do you think of the bottom 6's performance over the first 6 games? Lamico, Dickinson, Highmore. Yeah. I think people in general, again, forget Buffalo, feel that bottom 6 performance has been better than expected.
Yeah, well, 6 games on the road, you're going to have one stinker, and it was in Buffalo, unfortunately. But the bottom 6, I like Dickinson. I really like Dickinson. He competes. He gives you more than what they've had in the past with a third and fourth line. They need Mott back. Highmore, for me, is just a guy that skates around really fast. And you're like, okay, well, what did he do at the end of the game? He skated around really fast, but I respect that. I respect him as a player. And Höglander, he's always involved. But man, and with no disrespect, he's got to get some velocity on that shot. It's not very hard. But what a great player. He gives you everything he's got. I like the bottom 6 in the sense that it's improved, but like, let's say a game in Detroit, back to back, you need a third, fourth line chip in with a goal. Yeah. And they didn't get that in Detroit. So you still need, today you got to have 3 lines of scoring. It's not 6 and 6. It's 9 and 3. Like your third line has to chip in too. So, but yeah, so that's what I think it's better. But also while we're on this, give me your overall impression of the the third, fourth line and what you guys think of the game.
Well, I think that's important to do because we're on TV on a regular basis and you're not. So there's that.
I was on for 5 games.
Yeah, I know.
They can't put this on TV though. They used to, right? Like,
well, if they can put this on TV, they can put that on on TV.
They asked for Bradley Cooper. They got Corey Hirsch.
Hey, Corey, Travis is getting a lot of heat for Podkolzin, healthy scratch, couple of games. I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow night or not. Your thoughts on him, healthy scratch, and Podkolzin?
So Podkolzin, if he plays with top players, he's a good, effective player. You saw in preseason when he's bottom 3, bottom 6, he's just not effective, right? That's a tough game to play because you got to play defensive. You got to be smart. But when you put him with top players, he can play. Problem is that Brock Besser jumped in there and then Podkolzin got left by the wayside. Right. I have zero issues if they send Podkolzin down for 10, 15 games and then kind of bring him back in a little bit as needed when guys get hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt and he's going to play. But 3 games, it's not going to make or break Podkolzin, right? Like it's really not. So yeah. And fans always think they know more than the coaches. We only see the games. Coaches are with these guys, practices day in and day out. They see what they do, which is, sometimes I think why I didn't get starts, right? I mean, they saw me in practice. They're like, we can't play this guy. Oh my God. We can't stop a puck. But so we got to trust the coaches. Sorry.
Yeah. Plus, back then, you were also leaving your car at the airport on a regular basis. So
you guys have no idea. I don't know if you read the article, but I do have mental health issues. I got some ADD going on.
And you've been very open about it, and I think everybody appreciates it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're all a little crazy, especially goalies. So just trying to help some people.
We'll get you back on soon, Corey. Thanks so much for this.
All right. Love you guys. And enjoy the show. Sounds good, guys.
I appreciate it.
Chat soon.
Yep. Okay. Corey Hirsch. And we will get him back on. Radio or TV or whatever medium he's
or
working.
in his car at the airport. We'll get him back on.
We'll get him back on.